It's Hallowhawk, and this is going to be the long-awaited triathlon show and tell video. So I will start off by saying, stop, my dog. This triathlon was really, really fun. There was a lot that I liked about it better than last year's. I felt kind of lost last year, and I think that's because it was my first time. So I didn't really know how people were gonna vote, like things like that. So yeah, last year I was very, kind of disappointed in myself. This year I'm very, very happy with what I was able to accomplish. I'm very proud of myself. And yes, so that being said, the only thing that I was disappointed with this year, or didn't really like that they did this year versus last year, and it has nothing to do with the people playing just for fun, but I didn't like how you were able to vote for the people playing just for fun. And the reason is because those votes that those people playing just for fun received could have gone to people that were actually playing to win the prizes. And I felt like if they had not been able to vote for those people, or if they had known that they were playing just for fun and couldn't receive the prizes, that the votes would have been distributed differently. And I think the outcome of the entire competition and voting rounds would have been different. And so I didn't really like that. I don't know about how, or I don't know how voters felt that were just on the outside. But it is kind of weird because the person who came in third place actually came in fifth place. So what do you do when you're telling people what place you came in? Do you say, yeah, I came in third place, and you minus out the people playing just for fun? Or do you say that I came in the place you came in? I don't know. So I didn't really like that, and it has nothing to do with the people playing just for fun at all. It was just kind of, I didn't really like that they chose to do it that way. I think it kind of did a disservice to the other people. So yeah. Anyway, so moving on. I came in seventh place overall. So that was really, really surprising and very cool. And yeah, I'm really happy with what I did. And I really can't wait until next year to see what challenges are going to be. But this year, the first challenge was big hair. So we had to make a wig. And I chose to do a Rococo style wig. It's not on a doll, it's on a serger thread. But this is the wig that I made. And here's the back. The back really isn't anything fancy, it's kind of random. But I got the idea from a book that I used to have when I was a kid about kind of 17th century hair. It was like a picture book, and there were women with really crazy wigs, and one of them had a ship in it. So I took it a step further and put like kraken tentacles coming out. Yeah, and then I did little fan type things to kind of look like waves. So yeah, I was really, really happy with how this came out. And it was really fun. There was a lot of really cool wigs. But yeah, so this was really fun. I made the boat out of paper, and I've never made anything thing like that out of paper before. The wig is actually made out of cotton fiber from the inside of cotton cording that I just pulled apart. It kind of looks like animal hair or mohair or something like that, but it's not. It's cotton cording. And the front hair is made out of yarn that I pulled apart. And then what makes it so big and sturdy kind of is that there's actually air dry foam clay, that Crayola foam stuff that I made like the basic shape with before in white. So yeah, really happy with how this turned out. I think it's really cool, and I've never made anything like this before. I'll be keeping that. Second challenge, if I can put that down without destroying it. The second challenge was cool kicks. So you had to make shoes, and I like making shoes, but you had to make the shoes entirely out of paper, like flat sheet paper. That's all you could use. You can use like you couldn't use paper mache, things like that. You couldn't use wire or glue for like structure and stuff. So it was really interesting. And I actually made a set of shoes because I had this really cool idea that really didn't work out. And I don't know how I would have made it work out because I'm not very good at making things really, really tiny. So this is like my second idea, and they're falling apart. But they look like this. So when they're on the doll's feet, they have like this like water scene, and they have waves, and there's a little mountain, volcano, and a sun, and these are supposed to be seagulls flying. I couldn't use wire or anything clear to attach them, so I just used some paper, and one of them is falling off. My sail on my sailboat's also falling off, but yeah, so that's what they look like from the top. I was really, really worried about these shoes when I submitted them. I felt like I didn't really do a good job. And then when I saw everyone's entries for the shoes, I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way. Yeah, I just was not very confident in my shoes, like at all. But oddly enough, my shoes did better than any of my other entries. So I came in fifth place overall in the shoes, which put me into sixth place. Sixth place at the time of the second challenge. So yeah, I was like completely surprised and like, what? It was crazy. So that was fun. And for the first two challenges, I was using Illumi, which is my Fairyland Mayfie Shoo Shoo. And for some reason, I felt like for the third challenge, I needed to switch it up. And I needed to do something completely different than my first two challenges, which I think was a mistake in the long run, because the third challenge I did the worst in voting, which is okay. I mean, it didn't really matter. But yeah, it's really interesting to see how things turn out versus your expectations. But I was really, really, really happy with what I made. Like super happy, and I'm still super happy. I think it's really cool. Yeah, it's just kind of a weird thing to see what other people like versus you. So I decided to use Radish, and I made her this really, really crazy outfit. here's what it looks like from the front. And really, I just wanted to make a skull mask hat thingy. So I made this kind of, it's supposed to be kind of like a dragon skull thing, helmet. And then I made like the rib kind of armor. And the back has all the vertebra and shoulder blades and the dragonfly wings and tail, sort of. But for this challenge, you were given inspiration pictures to work off of from the contestants' previous entries. So you got 3 shoes and 3 wigs, and you had to choose 2 that you wanted to make an outfit inspired by. And you could only use materials either found from a hardware store, a florist shop, or a post office. So I chose a hardware store because that's the one I know the most about. I know it comes in a hardware store, and my dad has a lot of stuff already that comes in a hardware store. Getting on my stuff. You're gonna get on my stuff. She's freaking out. So anyways, and then you could bring in one element of the wig that you chose to use. So I chose to use some moth for some details. And this was really hard. This is probably the hardest thing that I did out of all of the challenges. I made this and all the bone pieces out of masking tape and olive. Out of masking tape and sheetrock seam paper. If you guys know what that is, it's just like a really sturdy paper that comes in a lot, like a roll. Yeah. So I used it to make the inside of the vertebra, obviously like the shapes of these, the shape of this, and then like the shape of this, and then covered it in masking tape. These horns, though, actually are just tape, like wound around itself. And then I colored it with Sharpie and used some rubbing alcohol to smear the Sharpie a little bit, and everything is being washed out. And then I used rubber gloves for the clothy bits, and packing tape for the wings. So yeah, it was this. This is really hard to make, and I think it's really cool looking. I've never made anything like this before, but this was the challenge I did the worst in. But what I noticed is that like the last challenge, which is supposed to be like the most important challenge you do, there was like less people voting. The top person only got 44 votes that round, as opposed to 100 votes in the first round. So I don't know. It is really weird. It's kind of more stressful, I think, that you're supposed to be doing this really intense thing the last round, and there's not that many people looking at it, and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah. And to answer questions that I didn't reply to on YouTube, I did not make this removable. So I've left her in it since taking pictures, just so I can show you guys. Now I have to figure out how to take it off of her without like completely destroying it. I think I'm gonna take it apart at the front and peel the bones off, and then take stuff off of her. I don't know. But yeah, So I think this is my favoriteest thing that I made ever. Um, I just think it's like super cool. And I just really wanted to make something like that. So yeah. I think though choosing to switch it up and not sticking with the style that I had been doing previously and changing up the doll kind of, I don't know, shifted um, the competition for me. So next year, I don't think I'll do that. I think I'm gonna stick with like the same doll and just stick with the same look. Um, but yeah, so I'm super excited about next year, um, and I really can't wait to see what it'll be. Um, yeah, I don't know at all. Like I don't even know what you could do for challenges. I feel like they've all been done, so that's kind of scary because next year might be like even crazier. I would be sad though if they didn't do a triathlon next year, like if they couldn't think of anything. Um, so yeah, that's all my stuff. Um, I have some progress videos that I can put up. I have to kind of splice them together first. But yeah, so I think I'll be putting those up. They're not super detailed because I forgot to record the first part. Um, but I do have update videos that I will be sharing soon because the triathlon helped me figure out a lot of things about this person and about another person. So, yeah. So, thanks guys for watching, and I can't wait to see your videos about what you did in the triathlon.